Welcome everybody. I hope you guys are having an awesome day and welcome to today's full flights. Today I'm doing some full flights in the beautiful INIbuilds Airbus A300-600, doing a full flight from Helsinki, we're currently located right now, all the way down to Leipizg in Germany. After that they continue down south. So let's go cockpit, let's get flight going. Alright, welcome to the aircraft. As you can see, we're completely cold and dark and we are also unloaded. So let's go in the cockpit and let's get the flight going. Alright, welcome to the flight deck. So let's make sure the aircraft is safe before we power it on. So, throttles are at idle, flaps and speed brakes are, flaps are up, spoilers are down, engines we just selected off, parking brake is set. Fire switches are all in, it is great. So I believe we are ready for our get some power on. So, let's see, battery 1, 2 and 3, if you allow me to hit it, are on. Where are that click spot? Come on, allow me to hit the button. Alright, ground power is now on. So, we will take the adheres to navigation mode 1, 3 and 2. And let's see, seatbelt sign, smoking sign can come on. And we will start up, so galley power can come on. We will take the yaw damper and auto throttle system on, anti-stay off, low strobe lights are on to automatic mode, logo light to 1, fuel pump stay off for now, and ignition to off, APU stay off, probe heats and window heaters are on, crew to box oxygen and the passengers or cargo to be precise can come on. Where is the click spot? Is on. Take the APU bleed on, emergency lights to the arm position. And I believe we can actually call for our cargo loading. So let's see, request boarding. And I believe we now have to get our flight plan put in. So we are now going to the menu, the ACARS, sim brief. And request that, let's see. Helsinki to Leipzig, we have our alternate to Copenhagen, align the IRSs. I'm gonna fly as Postman 499. And we can go to the next page. So we are going to start off and let's see, block fuel. I believe we actually have to load the aircraft before we do that. Update from SimBrief, apply load to aircraft. Alright, 8 minutes, good enough for me. Just gonna open the main cargo door. Yes. So, block fuel for today is going to be 21.5. And let's see, zero fuel weight, 130.0. Takeoff weight going to be 150 at 9, and double check that is correct. Zero fuel weight, center of gravity. Let's see, 30.33, so 30.33. Taxi fuel is going to be at 0.7. And let's see, route reserve is going to be at, let's see, 1.4. Alternate fuel of 4.5. And final fuel of 3.5. Extra fuel is good, we're going to fly at flight level 320. Other than that, we are good on that. Go to the flight plan and let's get our departure put in. So we are departing out of runway, I believe it was 22 right. 22 right via the, was it again, was it the, Vallon for November. So you, and we can insert. And we're looking good on that page. Let's go to the takeoff and approach. And let's go and make sure we are set on U. So let's see. Takeoff, synchronize, and we are going to select it to right. We are departing with the tailwind, but because of the weather and the visibility, we have to do that. So we are departing in the wet winds. Let's double check that they are at 100 at 8. And let's see, 1008 is altimeter, 1011, and weights will be 150. I will fix that. So 150800, 150900. Just gonna put in the EFB weight. And let's see, we are in the wet. We will and let's see, air conditioning are on, flap 15, so V1 142, 154, 142, 154, and then 149. Sorry, 59.
Helsinki traffic winner 22 Delta crossing runway
59 set.
So fast.
And we are good. THS is going to be down. Alright, we're gonna have to get hydraulic power before we can do that. And we are good on that page. And let's see, we can now take APU master on. And I believe we should now only have to wait. But in the meantime, let's get the charge. Alright, let's see, we are departing out of runway, so we have to get our let's see, departure chart for Helsinki to be precise. And it's going to be, let's see, 3 Tango. Aha. And of course we're going to get the airport taxi. Yes. Alright, let's start with the departure. We're departing out of 22 right. Going to be the northernmost of the runway, departing down to the south. Let's see, after departure we're going to fly out, take an immediate right hand turn to the 273 degrees. As soon as we reach the Hotel Kilo 4051 waypoint, we're going to take a left hand turn to heading to 37 and continue out from there. After that we're going to continue out to the Valox waypoint and continue down on a route from there. I don't believe there is much more to say to that, but in case we do have to do a, let's see, if we have to do an emergency engine out, flap stucks or whatever, we are going to fly straight out, continuing on, and then most likely get a holding from ATC, or in this case we will just vector ourselves around and then come in for landing. In case we have to do an emergency landing, we can just do a full 360 and then come on landing on runway 2 to right again after, or in worst case on landing on runway 04 or something, but and another runway. I believe that is that. There should be nothing you can hit except for this mountain over here. Yeah. And of course, minimum altitude is going to be 2,300 feet, and you have to touch our turn at 680 feet. Going to our airport. We are down here at apron 4, or in other words, we are down at the cargo stand. Going to taxi to runway 22, so we're most likely going to taxi via the Charlie Lima, Charlie November. Then on to the Yankee Lima. After that, we're going to continue straight on Yankee. Then on to the taxiway Delta, and then use full length. We're going to use full length today, and then departure to the south. And we are good, so we can take the pitch trim on. 159 is set, so let's get into navigation and profile. We're going to increase the range to 30 on you and put constraints on both of our navigation displays. Get the standby gyro calibrated, and let's get the takeoff. So flex temperature is going to be set to selected to 48, so we select you to flex TO. And 48 set. I believe we are good on that page. Altimeter is going to be 1011. And we can select our minimums to 680 feet. Just do that. And we can also now start the APU. So, APU fuel. Oh, I hate that flex spot. Where? Please. There. APU fuel pump to APU fuel pump and APU start. Alright, APU is now starting. We are also loading fuel. Should be done in just another minute, which is great. And okay, TO is set, auto brakes will fix them when the engine started. Other than that, we are good.
23 facing north, Helsinki traffic.
Let's get the radio set up. So we are departing on the Unicom frequency. We will have Unicom on 122.8 on the main, and then we'll have car frequency of 121.50 on our standby, which has already been done. And we are good. Weather radar to weather systems are off, and nose to 5 degrees up. Other than that, I think we should be fine. Cargo loading has now been completed, so let's get the aircraft ready for our pushback. So, before we start to request pushbacks, let's just make sure we have our fuel pumps all on. So, have to be myself closer then. So, why are you so hard to hit? Fuel pumps can all come on, and let me hit the buttons. Let's see if this works. Why are you so hard to hit? Come on, there we go. Alright, we can at the same time disconnect our ground power, selecting you over to crank A for our startup. Fuel pumps are all on, we are good on that page. Unicom is set. And we can take the beacon light to on. And we are now going to request the pushback, so prepare for push and departure. Close the door, remove the trucks and remove the GPU. Initial climb to flight level 310. Alright, and clear the message out. Alright, no spin lifted up. And GSX is bugging out as usual, and we are going to take tail to the left. Parking brake released. Alright, starting number 2.
Traffic ranking 360 via Zulu Lima, taken off and race it up for
November 2, sorry. N2 is rising, not November 2. And waiting for 22%. One and fuel. And EGTs are rising. Parking brake set. Alright, starting number 1. N2 is rising. Waiting for 21%. And 21. So adding fuel. Alright, back spin has been removed, we are good. And alright, we are close to 2 good engine startups. Alright. Engine to continuous relight, APU bleed off, and we are on engine power, so APU off. Overhead looks good, flaps 15-15, so flaps 15-0, 15-15. Speed brakes are armed. Ready for departure, selecting the chart and to the taxi chart. Alright, she's moving away, flap selected to 15-15, let's send you over to the flight control page. So, full right, full left, full up, full down, red left, red right. Alright, flight control check is good and free. So, park brake off, thrust, increase.
Helsinki traffic, red nose.
Alright, aircraft is moving.
Sorry, red nose, after the from classic turning on, lining up space and Zima up on the way to your forward.
Alright, looks like we have to change our departure. So we are currently moving. I forgot to turn on the nose light to taxi. I'm going to be experiencing some lag because my PC, or to be precise, my CPU is terrible.
Wagon 360, everyone passing 700.
Helsinki traffic postman something over here. Helsinki traffic postman 561 crossing runway 330. Alright, we are crossing, so strobe lights on. Landing lights can come on. Alright. I've forgotten to turn you to TRRA. Alright, clear off runway. Take the landing lights off and strobe light back to automatic mode. And as you can see, visibility is terrible. 7,000 meters to be precise. But I'm guessing it's going to be pockets of lower visibility.
Helsinki traffic, red nose 2820, take left on your forward.
Right, so we're changing our departure to 04 right. Because that is what everyone else is doing and I do not want to go against the VATSIM traffic rules. So, thrust back down to idle and we are not rolling. Alright, SID to 04 right. And it's going to be a value of 5, Charlie, insert, take off an approach. I'm guessing it's going to be more or less the same, but we are going to change it to 04 right as well. Alright, 157, so 157, 170, and then 173. Flap 50-15, and the rest remains unchanged, 0.1. Should be about there. And trim to 0.5 down. Departure has been changed, but minimum remains unchanged. Alright, no traffic is currently inbound. Auto brakes to max. Until the windshield wipers.
Helsinki traffic, fare 216, taking off to 2 right.
A little bit of an overshoot, but we should be fine. Helsinki traffic, postman 561 going to take off from 04 right, but not immediately. Alright. Right, going to taxi all the way down to Zulu Tango for a full length departure. Closing in on the runway, so turn flights can come on. Alright, so we are now closing in, so we have the Zulu, Sierra and Tango over there. And Zulu Sierra is now passed. Strobe lights on, landing lights can come on, wing light on, nose light to take off, logo lights to position number 2. Transponder is already on, thrust is idle, flaps 15, speed brakes are arm, engines are all working and they are good. Altimeter 1011, minimum is going to be 680 feet in case anything happens. We will just continue on. Helsinki traffic, postman 561 lining up runway 04 right. Trust.
Yeah, traffic Viking 360, inbound Velos, flight level, contact flight level 340.
Approaching
Alright, confirm. 04 right has been confirmed. Alright, lights are all on, the rest is good. Ignition is on, fuel is great, let's go. So,
On runway
chrono start.
04 right.
Alright, get the engine up to 50%. Alright, stabilized, takeoff. And we are rolling, so 80 knots. Alright, V1, rotate. Alright, pass the rate of climb, gear up. Alright, nose to 15 degrees. Alright, 1000 feet. Take the nose down a little bit. Auto thrust can be arm. Alright, autopilot 1 can come on. Flaps 15. And slats in. Take the gear lever to the off position. Turn off lights and nose light can all come off. Speed brake is disarmed and down. 3000 feet. Coming into some thunderclouds, but we are in the spring, so that is expected. Alright, 3900 feet. Strobe lights to automatic. Navigation light to 1. And we are now climbing along nicely. So, closing in on 5000 feet. Don't believe there is much more for me to say. So I will say enjoy the flight. I'll talk to you guys when we're descending into Leipzig. Closing in on 10,000 feet. Let's get the aircraft ready for our arrival into Leipzig. So, 10,000 feet closing in. Let's get the charts. So we're now inbound, runway 26 left, and I have just skipped going through the entire arrival itself because we don't need to do it. There's no traffic, there's no ATC online. We do what we want. I'm just going to double check that I have the correct chart. So, arrival. Alright, let's see. We are coming in on the approach chart actually. And it's localizer 26 left. Alright, we're now descending to 5,000 feet, so let's get the seat belt. So actually we have to get the seatbelt sign on. Landing light can come on. get the ground lights staying as is. Sorry, the nose lights. And we are now flying in as ILS. So ILS frequency is 11030. And course going to be 263. Alright, so we are now just passing to 10,000 feet actually. $263 set, and let's select you to the ILS mode. Alright, we are now below 10,000 feet and below, we are now also below the 250 knots. Let's get the landing configured at the same time. So we are landing on runway 26 left. And we are length, speed is great, we are landing with dry conditions and we will use auto brake low, let's try that. And we're going to use flaps full. Alright, we can do that, so auto brake low and speed to, flaps to 30-40. Auto brake low can be armed. Alright, exactly how far out are we now? Let's say 3,000 feet. And let's see, 19 miles out. That sounds good enough for me. Should be getting the ILS in sights in a second now. So, landing with flaps full, we can arm the speed brakes. Landing lights are on, wing light is on. Keep the APU master off for now. Altimeter is 1017. 3003. I missed that. 3003 set. And the rest of the overhead panel is great. Fuel pumps, hydraulic pumps, everything else is good, good, and good. Alright, let's see. We are going to arm the land. So we have our glide slope and localizer. Good, localizer captured. Category 2. We are landing manually. Minimums for today is going to be... Let's see, what did the chart say? 670 feet. Aha. Not you. 670 feet set. Alright, speed brakes can come out. Alright, 670 feet set. Flaps. Slats out. Alright, 220 knots. Should take it down to 200 knots actually, since we are closing in on the 10 miles out. Alright, we have the airport in sight. Hasn't exactly loaded in yet, but flaps. Next step. We do that. So it was a little bit too early, but alright, we are now below the glide slope, which is great. Alright, glide slope localizer has both been captured, speed going down to 200 knots, we can take the rest of the lights on. Now go back up here. Alright. So, auto brake low is armed, we are now below 10 miles out, so speed down to 180 knots. Alright, slats can come out. arm speed brakes again. Alright, 6 miles out, gear down. So, lights are all on, seatbelt sign is on, and APU master is off. The rest of the aircraft looking great. Minimum 670 feet, speed 60 knots. Alright, flaps 15, 20. And flaps full. Takeoff and approach, so you're going with flaps full, and it's going to be 670 feet. I forgot to do that. Could do the final approach actually. So, flaps 30-40, so always flaps full. Landing speed is going to be 159 knots. If I read that correctly. No, I do not. 140. Alright, below 4 miles, so speed to 140. So, lights are on, seatbelt signs are on, flaps set, speed brakes are armed, gear down, trigger aim, minimum 670 feet. Runway in sight and airport in sight. No traffic I can see on the map. Alright, we are actually 10 miles out, so it's me who was misjudging the speed. Leipizg traffic, postman 561, 10 miles out, runway 26 left. I'm looking the wrong place. Supposed to look there, not there. So, must be a VOR that is much closer by, but we are now 9 miles out, so we can just continue going. That explains why it was looking a little bit more different than usual. Alright, 9 miles out. Let's keep going at this way. Alright, radio altimeter is alive. Gear down, tree green, flaps full, speed brakes arm, lights set. 7 miles to go. Alright, both sides looking good, and I have to fix those view ups, but is no problem. So, 6 miles out. Leipzig traffic, postman 561, 6 miles out, 26 left. Alright, 5 miles out. So, 4 miles out, can take the speed down to the 140 knots. Go for landing. Leipzig traffic, postman 561, 3.5 miles out, 26 left. Alright, we are go for landing. A little bit later than I was expecting, but we are good. Right below 1000 feet, I have control. It's been a little bit of a while since I have flown the A300, so I have to get used to this again. Alright, correct runway has been confirmed. Minimums, we can continue. Twitch aircraft. Alright, 500 feet, switching view to my favorite landing view. Reverse is deployed. Apparently not. I'll first double check that as soon as we get stopped at speed. 80 knots, I'll take manual brakes. Alright, closing in, alright, 40 knots, so thrust back to idle. Flaps up, speed brakes can come back down again. Nose light is, sorry, landing lights are not needed and can come in. Slowing the aircraft down to the taxi speed. Taking a right hand turn and let's start the APU if I can hit the click spot. And let's get everything else selected for taxiing in the daylight. Come on, I want to start the APU, not take down the standby. Alright, you can go off. APU bleed can come on. Leipizg traffic, postman 561, clear off runway 26 left. Alright, let me just start up GSX again and we can get taxiing to a stand of our choice. So let's see, we are going to the south parking, I believe it is, apron 4. So, thrust increase rate actually don't stop. I believe it's going to be the south parking. Aha. No, not that. Southwest. No. Parking then. No. It's not that nice navigating these pages. I'm guessing it's the south parking. 400, we can take number 403. We do not need, and can you show me the spot, make sure I'm correct? Yes, we are. So I know where to go now. DHL Airways for the ground crew. Taking the orange. Alright, we are below 52 meters, so we can just easily taxi in here. And it's going to be stand 403. Nine, 7, 5, and a 3 over there. So, thrust to idle speed can have to be reduced. Alright, 403 is coming up. Kill the nose lights. APUs are available and powering. See if I can do this correctly. So, starting to turn in carefully. And line up. Overshot, but that's okay. All right, parking brake set, brake fans on. So, AP is powering engine number 2 and 1. Engines have successfully shut down. Sorry, turned off. Fuel pumps can come off if I can hit the buttons. Alright, fuel pumps are off, beacon light can come off, APU can just stay as is, APU bleed is online, probe beats can stay on for now, and everything else is good for over panel. Seatbelt sign can come off, brake temps, that's okay, they are cooling down. So, ground equipment, trucks can be set, and GPU can be set, doors can be disarmed. And let's request stairs, and of course deboarding. And then I'm gonna get the next flight plan for our next stop down to Porto in Porto. Our next flight has now been received. We are going to fly down to Porto, so let's get the aircraft ready. So, we take the pitch trims on and on. I'm just going to open GSX. Debrief is A-OK. Let's set you to request boarding. So we'll just wait for the boarding to complete. Meanwhile, let's go and get the route from Simbrief. Alright, Leipizg to Porto. And we are in good condition standards. We're going to fly at 300, flight ID 502, and we're going to fly as Postman 51. For today, we're going to have a block fuel of 24.2. We are actually going to have to load our aircraft before we do that, so update from Simbrief, payload and everything else check, and apply load to aircraft. 24.2, selected 242. Zero fuel weight will be, let's see, 128.8. Zero fuel weight center of gravity 3022, so 30.22. Taxi fuel will be 0.7. And let's see, route reserve will be 1.4. Ultimate fuel 2.2. And final fuel will be 3.6. We fly at flight level 300, and the rest of the flight of the route in this page looks good. Yes. So we can now go to the flight plan, and let me just quickly get the star we're departing out of. So departing out of Paderborn, Leipizg. I do not know why I confused them. But 26 left, and we are going to use the Nevk to Charlie, which is going to be U to Sierra, I mean. Next those up. And we are good on that page. Let me just go and get the takeoff and approach performance. So, takeoff, synchronize. To synchronize, I'm just going to quickly make sure you have the correct takeoff weight. So, 152.2 done. 152.200. And the best can stay as is. And we are going to use a dry takeoff and calculate. So, V1 160, rotate 170 and 173. So, 160, 170. And selecting you to 173 was it. Interclimb will be flight level 300. We are departing with Unicom, so no need to select any intermediate. Intermediate altimeter is there is for now, and we are good on that page. And I'm going to set the flex temperature of 48. So flex tank of 48 is good. APU is running. You can just stay as is. We are now refueling ground power. And stay as is for now. And we are good. And squawk can be selected to 2000. For that we are good on that page. So now we'll just have to wait till we are done with the cargo loading, but we'll wait, let's do the briefing. So charts, parting, so pin charts, I'm just going to remove all of them. So departing out of the INIbuilds 2, which is going to be chart number 110 Echo. And of course the airport is going to be very useful. So, we are departing out of the INIbuilds 2 Sierra, starting out, we're going to fly straight out, heading 262 onto the design waypoint. After that we're going to take a right hand turn and continue on to the Delta Papa 551 waypoint, continue out there. Minimum is going to be minimum altitude is going to be 2,800 feet. There is nothing, there's such a mountain that's without outside of the airport, we shouldn't have a problem with that. In case anything happens, we'll fly straight out, do a right hand turn and come back, landing on runway 26 left, 70 departure from, or in worst case we can do a 180 and land on runway 04 right, 08 right, I mean, left. I missed those up. But we are just going to continue straight out, and climb to 7,000 feet, flying without ATC for now, so we should just go straight up. For the airport itself, shouldn't be much. We're departing out of 3 hours, starting here at the south apron, apron 4, going to depart at 26 left, so it's going to be a simple straight back push onto Victor, use full length departure and continue on with our route. Don't see any hotspots, might be a hotspot right here, but we are not going to go that way. For traffic we have to see, but there shouldn't be much traffic inbound anyways, so we shouldn't have some issue there. Other than that, I believe we are good. Altimeter 1017 is set, and I'm just going to double check that is the correct, even though we just landed. And that is correct. And of course, wind, something else is good. Let's get ready for our push and start. So, starting with the overlay panel, we start with the laborious task of getting the fuel pumps on. Alright, fuel pumps are now on, APU blade is connected, we can take seatbelt sign on, the rest is looking great. U to crank B, since we are the second flight of the day. Take the beacon light on. And we are north on orange. Parking brake can be disconnected. And of course, can't forget to remove the trucks. Alright, starting number 1. Alright, waiting for 21%.
Let's see traffic commander 99 to first and 120. Pushing start 15.
And 21, so fuel. Alright, starting number 2. Waiting for 21%. Fuel. Parking brake has been set. And engine number 2 is up and running. Continuous relight can be selected to the on position. Take the APU bleed off. Alright, APU master off. Now slide to taxi flaps to 1515.
Leipzig traffic, Clever 36 Victor, landing runway 26 left, 5 miles out.
And at the same time, let's do the flight control check. So, full right, full left, full up, full down,
three
to the left,
lining up
to the
runway
right,
26 right,
trim,
and departing
down
on the
0.2.
Gullet to November departure. Click.
0.1, 0.2, roughly there. Alright, bypass pin has been removed, flight control check has been completed, and it was a success. Brake fans, we can actually keep those on for now. Parking brake off, thrust increase. Alright, chart. But they're a bit heavier to the little bit heavier now than they were last time. And we are rolling. Might as well just arm the profile and the navigation mode. Alright, looks like we have a German cargo. It's coming in, and it's coming from
Leipzig traffic, Commander 994, taxiing via November to loading point hotel 8 runway 26 left. Leipzig traffic, Buyer 253 is clear of runway 26 right, passing through 3000 for flight level 70, final call, Leipzig.
Right, no traffic is inbound, so I'm just going to taxi straight onto the runway. Transponder is now on. Aircraft, let's see, flap set, speed brakes, armed engines are good. And you are selected. We can get the lights all on. Leipizg traffic, postman 51 lining up and taking off runway 26 left. Alright, no traffic inbound, and no one has said that they are inbound, so we just go straight on the runway for a straight takeoff.
Approaching 26 left.
Roger that.
Leipzig traffic behind parking traffic pilot runway 26 left.
26 left.
And start. $80 knots. V1. And rotate. Pass the rate of climb. Gear up. Nose to 50 degrees. On 1,000 feet. Auto thrust on. Climb thrust selected. Autopilot on. Alright, flaps up, slats can stay. Alright, gear up and gear off. Alright, nose lights can come off and of course the wing light can come off. Ignition can stay for now.
Leipzig traffic from an airline to start takeoff runway 26 left.
Flaps up. Rapid traffic, postman 51, clear off runway 26 left. So 3,000 feet. Aircraft is stable. Brake fans. Turn those off. Departure is coming along nicely. Alright, 4,000 feet. Aircraft stable, flaps is up, speed brake is disarmed. Landing lights can stay on, ignition can stay. Alright, don't believe there is much for me to say, so enjoy the cruise. And I will stop talking and talking as we're descending into Porto in Portugal. passing through
Ryanair 903XK Alpha,
just
continue
passed through
descent
10,000 feet.
60.
We are now descending at a rapid pace towards Porto. So let's get some lights on and ignition to continuous landing. So synchronize, runway 35, and dry, auto, let's try high, oh, sorry, medium.
And Ryanair 903XK Alpha, no
Right,
speed restrictions
auto brake
below
low
100.
for landing,
No
flaps
speed
full as
restrictions
usual,
below
and we're now
100,
descending to 4,000
903XL.
feet. Gonna use the RMP, something I've used in a long while actually. And minimums is at 600 something feet if I'm not wrong. 500 feet, no sorry. 540. It's a little bit late on this, I have forgotten to do a lot of this. So 540. And for those of you wondering, we are a little bit high. 1,200 feet too high to be precise. Alright, so Porto Tower, I might as well just set that while we wait. So 118.005. Alright, 15 miles out from the runway to be, I'm guessing.
Postman 51, contact tower 118.005, bye bye.
Contact tower 118.005, postman 51. Alright, we hit a little bit of a lag spike, so switching over. Okay, when that happens. Porto Tower, postman 51, inbound 35.
Postman 51, Porto Tower, hello. Wind speed 30 degrees, 6 knots, variable between 290 around 36 degrees, 7 8 speed, that's clear land.
Get land, runway 35, postman 32, sorry, 551.
Altimeter setting.
Alright, we are landing manually. So, flaps 15 and lights all on. Alright, runway in sight. Alright, gear down. Lights are all on, 1600 feet. Flaps can continue down.
Too high. Too high. Approaching 3, 5.
Alright, we can continue. Perfect. A little bit high on the approach, but that should be fine. Alright, welcome to the ground. Alright, 100 knots. $80 knots. And below 50 knots of flap straps, pre-brake down, auto brake can be disarmed. Wing light off, nose light to ground, turn off lights not needed, logo light to 1, strobe light, we'll keep those on, landing lights can actually come off. APU can also be started. And let's reduce our speed to the taxi speed.
Postman 51, welcome to Porto. Continue back on contact ground 121.040. Bye bye.
Continue taxiing and contact ground on 121.040, Postman 51.
Ha det fint.
Tack detsamma. Alright. Switching over.
Good day, Porto Tower, easy position.
Alright, Porto ground 121, yes. Porto ground, Postman 51.
Postman 51, Porto ground, Botards. I need you up in the Tango stand, so I'm going to give you a runway crossing. Taxi holding point Delta from a 35 by Echo and Sierra.
Taxi to holding point Delta for runway 35 via Echo and Sierra, Postman 51. Alright, APU is looking great, flaps is up. So, speed, let's see, there. Let's activate the GSX, and let's see. Cargo, I'm just gonna set Tango 1 for now. DHL Airways. APU is now up and running. That's great. Tries to idle. Alright, we're at apron, so we have to reduce our speed.
Postman 51, you've missed Delta, continue to Charlie. Charlie's on your next right.
Sorry about that, taxi to Charlie for Postman 51. I want to taxi me down, okay. This will be a little bit simpler for us to do actually.
Red nose 3613, push and start, pre-face south on Sierra 3. Postman 51, contact tower 118.005 for crossing.
Contact tower 118.005 for crossing, Postman 51. Porto Tower, Postman 51 requesting runway crossing.
Postman 5-1 via Charlie cross from me 3-5, then taxi stand Tango 02 via Hotel Alpha and Yankee.
So approach is
Approaching 3-5.
Easy 462, automatic handoffs in Portugal. Contact approach 120.910. Bye bye.
Right, clear.
Easy 426, or 462, did you copy?
We change to Tango 02. Tango.
Postman 5-1, continue via Hotel Alpha Yankee stand Tango 02.
Hotel Alpha Yankee stand Tango 02, Postman 5-1. Alright, clear off runway.
Runner
Lights
93
are
X-ray
off.
Alpha, wind speed 30 degrees 8 knots, runway 35 clear land.
clear to land runway 25, runner 93 X-ray off.
And transponder to standby. Alright, I'm going to take the stand, which is going to be straight in from how we are going to taxi. So, nose light off, and rest is good. APU is up and running. Alright, stand T02 is coming up straight ahead now. So, trust to idle. Right, marshaller in view.
Runner 93 X-ray off, runway 35 vacated.
Looks like you are a little bit offset, so I'm just going to go continue straight on.
Runner 93 X-ray Alpha, continue via Echo and contact ground 121.040.
Continue via
Alright,
Echo and
parking
contact
brake
ground
set.
121.040, runner 93 X-ray Alpha. Thank you, bye.
Alright, so engine 1 and 2 off. Probably gonna get terrible landing, but parking, but you are offset for me, so you are wrong. Alright, we are now good. Engine and 2 is now spooling down. So, fuel pumps can come off. Fuel pumps off, ignition to off. We can take the APU bleed on. Seatbelt sign can come off. Beacon light can now come off. And let's see, ground equipment. So trucks can be selected, doors can be disarmed. And the boarding can be requested. Open the main cargo door because GSX won't open the main door for some reason. And the rest of our fan looking good. Parking brake set, flap set, we are good, and good. So, let's go and end this flight. Welcome to Porto, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed both of these flights. And if you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my channel page for more awesome videos. And if you want to binge more more of my long haul, short haul, or medium flights, check out my playlist link in the description or on the screen right now. Other than that, have a nice summer. I will see you next video. Follow, we're out. I was May. Goodbye.